Sunday dinners at Rosario's weren't optional. They were tradition. Every other week for 3 years, my kids and I showed up at that Italian place downtown. White tablecloths, entrees starting at $28. The kind of place Mom loved because it made her feel fancy. My kids, Emma, 7, and Jake, 9, would rather eat chicken nuggets at home. But we went. Because that's what family does. This Sunday started like the others. We arrived at 6 sharp. The whole family was already there. Mom and Dad, my sister Rachel, her husband Brad, and their daughters Lily and Sophie, 10 and 12, dressed like they were attending a wedding. "Connor, you're late," Mom called. "We're exactly on time." "Well, we've been here 15 minutes. The girls were hungry." Empty appetizer plates covered the table. Mozzarella sticks, calamari, bruschetta. "Those were just for Lily and Sophie," Rachel said. "They needed something to tide them over." Emma looked at the empty plates, then at me. The waiter appeared. Young guy with a name tag that said, Marcus. "Ready to order?" "Yes," Rachel said. "Lily will have the lobster ravioli. Sophie wants the filet mignon with truffle butter." Lobster ravioli, $34. Filet mignon, $42. "And for the young man and young lady?" Marcus looked at Emma and Jake. Before I could speak, Mom cut in. "Oh, they're fine. They don't need to order." The table went quiet. I looked at her. "What?" "Your kids can eat at home." Casual, like commenting on the weather. "No point wasting money." She reached across and tossed 2 folded napkins in front of Emma and Jake. "Here, in case they get thirsty." Marcus looked uncomfortable. "So, nothing for them?" "They'll have water, for now," I said. Mom nodded, satisfied. Appetizers arrived for the adults. Nothing for Emma and Jake. They sat with hands in their laps watching everyone eat. Emma's bottom lip trembled. Jake stared at the table. "So, Lily," Mom said brightly, "tell us about your school project." Lily talked about pyramids and A+. Mom and Dad hung on every word. Emma raised her hand. "Grandma, I did a project too." "That's nice, sweetie," Mom said, not looking. "Lily, did you use poster board?" Emma's hand dropped. I took a slow breath. Under the table, I tapped Jake's knee twice. Our signal. He looked at me. I gave him a small nod. "Copy that," his eyes said. A phrase from my National Guard days. Stay calm, assess, plan, execute. The entrees arrived. Lobster ravioli for Lily. Filet mignon for Sophie. Expensive dishes for everyone. Marcus set down my salmon. $28, the cheapest thing on the menu. Emma and Jake's spots remained empty except for those napkins. Everyone ate, talked, laughed. My kids sat there watching. I ate methodically, brain working. Jake's face was stone, too guarded for a 9-year-old. "Connor," Dad finally said, "how's work?" "Fine." "Still at the same place?" "Rachel's been telling us Brad got promoted. District manager. Big raise." "That's great." "We're taking the girls to Disney World to celebrate," Rachel said. "First class, the Grand Floridian." "We thought about inviting you," Mom added. "But it's really a celebration for Brad. You understand." I understood perfectly. The table cleared except for a few remaining bites. Marcus appeared again. "Can I interest anyone in our dessert menu this evening?" "Yes," Rachel said immediately. "The girls already have their orders in. 2 chocolate lava cakes." "Excellent choice," Marcus said. He looked around the table. "Anyone else?" Mom and Dad declined. Rachel and Brad said they were too full. Marcus looked at me. "And for you, sir?" I took the dessert menu from his hand, opened it slowly. The table watched me, waiting for me to decline, waiting for me to say we were fine, we'd get something at home, no need to spend more money. I studied the menu, read every item, every price. Chocolate lava cake, $18. Tiramisu, $16. Cheesecake, $17. Creme brulee, $19. Ice cream sundae tower, $22. Fruit tart, $15. Chocolate mousse, $14. Brownie sundae, $16. I did the math in my head. Let the silence stretch. Then I looked up at Marcus and smiled. I'll take 2 chocolate lava cakes, 2 tiramisu, 2 cheesecakes, 2 creme brulee, 2 ice cream sundae towers, 2 fruit tarts, 2 chocolate mousses, and 2 brownie sundaes. The table went dead silent. Marcus blinked. I'm sorry, could you repeat that? 2 of everything I just listed, 16 desserts total, all for my 2 kids here. Marcus looked at Emma and Jake, back at me. That's a lot of dessert, sir. I know, they're hungry. Mom's face went white. Connor, what are you doing? Ordering dessert. That's over $200. I glanced at the menu again. $215 actually, plus tax and tip. You can't be serious, Dad said. I looked directly at him. I'm very serious. Then to my kids, you 2 hungry? Emma's eyes were wide. Jake nodded slowly, not quite believing this was happening. Good, I said. You're about to have the best dessert night of your lives, Rachel sputtered. Connor, this is ridiculous. You're making a scene. Am I? I'm just ordering dessert for my kids. You know, the way you ordered $34 ravioli and $42 steaks for yours. That was different? How? She opened her mouth. Closed it. No answer. Brad leaned forward. Come on, man. This is childish. Is it? My kids have been sitting here for 45 minutes with nothing but napkins while everyone else ate. Now they get dessert. Seems fair to me. Marcus stood there, pen still hovering. So, should I put that order in? Yes, please. He nodded and left, walking faster than necessary. The table sat in stunned silence. Sophie leaned toward her mom. Are they really getting all that? Apparently, Rachel said through gritted teeth. Lily looked jealous. Sophie looked confused. Both of them kept glancing at Emma and Jake. Mom tried a different approach. Connor, honey, this is too much. The kids can't possibly eat all that. Maybe not, but they'll try. And whatever they don't finish, we'll take home. This is absurd, Dad muttered. You know what's absurd? I said, my voice still calm, still measured. Throwing napkins at 7- and 9-year-old children while their cousins eat $40 meals. That's absurd. We were trying to help you, Mom said. You're always complaining about money. I never complain about money. I budget. There's a difference. And I budget so I can afford to take my kids to family dinners where they're treated like actual family members. They are family. Then why did you give them napkins instead of food? No answer. We sat in silence. Uncomfortable, heavy silence. 20 minutes later, Marcus returned. He wasn't alone. 2 other servers followed him, carrying trays. Multiple trays. They set them down one by one. Chocolate lava cakes with vanilla ice cream melting down the sides. Towering sundaes with whipped cream and cherries and chocolate drizzle. Tiramisu dusted with cocoa powder. Cheesecakes with raspberry sauce. Creme brulee with caramelized sugar tops. Fruit tarts with fresh berries. Chocolate mousses in elegant glasses. Brownie sundaes with hot fudge. It looked like a dessert buffet. Every inch of space in front of Emma and Jake was covered with plates and bowls and glasses. The neighboring tables turned to look. Sophie's mouth fell open. That's so much. Lily tugged on Rachel's sleeve. Mommy, can we have some? No, you have your desserts. But they have so much. Eat what you ordered. Emma looked at me, eyes huge. Dad? Go ahead, sweetheart. Try whatever you want. She picked up a spoon, tried the chocolate mousse. Her face lit up. Jake took a bite of the lava cake. Smiled for the first time all night. They ate slowly, savoring everything. A spoonful of this, a bite of that. Comparing flavors, giggling at the sheer excess of it all. The rest of the table sat frozen. Rachel's daughters couldn't stop staring. They barely touched their own lava cakes, too busy watching their cousins experience dessert paradise. Mom looked furious. Dad looked uncomfortable. Brad looked like he wanted to say something but couldn't find the words. I ate a bite of Emma's tiramisu. It was incredible. This is really good, I said. Want to try the cheesecake next? Emma nodded enthusiastically. The meal stretched on. My kids ate and ate. Not because they were particularly hungry anymore, but because they could. Because for once they had abundance instead of scraps. Because for once they weren't invisible. Finally, Marcus returned with the check. He set it in the middle of the table, face down. Nobody reached for it. The silence was deafening. I picked it up, flipped it over. Total, $438.67. I pulled out my credit card, handed it to Marcus. Just for my portion and my kids' desserts, I said clearly. My salmon was $28. Their desserts are $215. Run that separately. Mom's face went from white to red. What are you doing? I stood up, started stacking the leftover dessert containers Marcus had brought. Most of the desserts were barely touched. We'd need at least 6 boxes. Paying for what we ate, I said. You can handle the rest. The rest? Dad grabbed the bill. That's over $195. I did quick math. 42 for Sophie's steak. 34 for Lily's ravioli. Plus their lava cakes at 18 each. Plus everyone else's entrees and appetizers and wine. Sounds about right, I said. That's what family dinners cost when you actually feed the whole family. I looked at Mom, then at Rachel, then at both of Lily and Sophie, who were watching this unfold with wide eyes. You always say family shares, right? That's what you tell me every time. Family sticks together, family shares. I picked up 3 boxes full of dessert. Emma and Jake grabbed the others. But here's the thing, my kids are family. Tonight, you gave them napkins while your granddaughters got 5-star treatment. You made them sit here, watching everyone eat, feeling like they didn't belong. My voice stayed calm. Every word was measured. Sharp. So yeah, family shares. But you don't get to pick which kids count. I headed toward the door. Emma and Jake followed, arms full of boxes, still not quite believing what just happened. You're really going to make us pay for this? Rachel called out. I stopped, turned. You made my kids sit at dinner with nothing but napkins while your daughters ate lobster and filet mignon. So yeah, I'm really going to make you pay for this. And I walked out. Behind me, I heard chaos erupting. Mom's voice rising, Rachel arguing, Dad trying to get Marcus's attention. But I didn't look back. We got to the car. I loaded the dessert boxes into the trunk, buckled Emma and Jake into their seats. Dad? Jake said quietly. What just happened? I looked at him in the rearview mirror. Justice happened, buddy. But Grandma's going to be so mad. Probably. Do you care? He thought about it. No, not really. Me neither. I started the car. As we pulled out of the parking lot, my phone started buzzing. Mom calling. I declined. Dad calling. Declined. Rachel calling. Declined. Can we eat more dessert when we get home? Emma asked. Absolutely. She smiled. The first real smile I'd seen from her all day. In the rearview mirror, I watched my kids sitting among boxes of dessert, finally looking like they belonged somewhere. And I realized something. We did belong somewhere. Just not with them. My phone started ringing before we even left the parking lot. I silenced it. Started the car, pulled onto the street. In the back seat, Emma and Jake sat surrounded by white boxes, 6 of them, stacked like presents. Can we eat some now? Emma asked. When we get home. Are we in trouble? Jake's voice was small. I looked at him in the rearview mirror. No, buddy, you're not in trouble. You didn't do anything wrong. But Grandma looked really mad. Grandma's been mad before. She'll get over it. Or she won't. Either way, we're good. My phone buzzed again. And again. And again. By the time we got home, a 15-minute drive, I had 12 missed calls and 7 voicemails. I carried the dessert boxes inside, set them on the kitchen counter. Emma and Jake hovered nearby, still not quite believing this was real. All right, I said, opening the fridge. Pick 2 desserts each for tonight. The rest we'll save. Emma chose the chocolate mousse and the fruit tart. Jake went for the lava cake and the brownie sundae. We sat at our small kitchen table, just the three of us, like always, and ate dessert for dinner. Emma took a bite of mousse and smiled. A real smile. The kind I hadn't seen at Rosario's. "This is really good, Dad." "Better than napkins?" she giggled. Jake laughed too. For the first time all night, they looked relaxed, like kids should look. After they finished, I sent them to brush their teeth and get ready for bed. While they were gone, I finally looked at my phone. The voicemails were predictable. Mom, first message, "Connor, we need to talk about what happened tonight. That was completely inappropriate. Call me back." Rachel, second message, "Are you seriously not going to apologize? You embarrassed us in front of everyone. Call me." Dad, third message, "Son, that stunt you pulled. We need to discuss this. Your mother is very upset." Brad, fourth message, "Dude, what the hell? You made my wife cry. Not cool." I deleted them without listening to the rest. Then I saw the text messages. Mom, "How could you do that to us?" Rachel, "You owe me an apology, and you owe Dad $195. Mom, "Your father had to put the bill on his credit card. Do you know how humiliating that was?" Rachel, "The girls asked why you were so mean. What am I supposed to tell them?" Mom, "You're teaching your children terrible values." I read that last one 3 times. Teaching my children terrible values. I just spent $215 to make sure my kids felt like they mattered. To show them that when someone treats you like you're invisible, you don't have to accept it. And somehow, I was the one with terrible values. I didn't respond to any of them. Instead, I went to check on Emma and Jake. Found them already in bed, stuffed animals tucked under their arms. "Dad?" Emma said. "Are we going to get in trouble for eating all that dessert?" "No, sweetheart." But Grandma said, "Grandma was wrong about a lot of things, but especially about you two not deserving dinner." Jake sat up a little. "Why does she like Lily and Sophie more than us?" The question hit like a punch to the gut. "I don't know, buddy. Sometimes grown-ups make bad choices about who they pay attention to, but that's their problem, not yours. Do we have to go to dinner there anymore?" I thought about it. About 3 years of these dinners. 3 years of watching my kids be treated like afterthoughts while their cousins were celebrated. "No," I said. "We don't." "Good," Emma said. Then, quieter. "I didn't like it there anyway." I kissed them both goodnight, turned off the lights, closed their doors. Then I went back to the kitchen and poured myself a beer. My phone buzzed again. This time, a number I didn't recognize. I almost didn't answer, but something made me pick up. "Hello? Uncle Connor?" A small voice. Young. Female. "Sophie?" "Yeah." She sounded nervous. "I got your number from Mom's phone. I hope that's okay." "It's fine. What's up?" Silence. Then, "Why don't Grandma and Grandpa like Emma and Jake?" I set my beer down. "What makes you think they don't?" "Because they never talked to them. And tonight, they didn't let them eat. But they let us order whatever we wanted. And..." She trailed off. "And what?" "And Mom and Grandma always say mean things about them when you're not around. They say you're a bad dad because you got divorced, and that Emma and Jake are probably going to turn out bad too." Something cold and sharp twisted in my chest. "Sophie, thank you for telling me. That took courage." "Are you mad at me?" "No, I'm not mad at you at all. But I need you to know something. Emma and Jake are good kids, really good kids. And I'm a good dad. What your mom and grandma say isn't true." "I know," she said quietly. "I like Emma and Jake. They're nice. Nicer than how everyone treats them. They'd like you too if they got to know you better." Another pause. "Uncle Connor? I'm sorry about tonight, about the napkins. I didn't know Grandma was going to do that." "I know, Sophie, it's not your fault." "Okay, I have to go. Mom's coming back." She hung up. I sat there in my kitchen, phone in hand, trying to process what just happened. My 11-year-old niece had just confirmed what I'd suspected for years. This wasn't just neglect. It was intentional, calculated. My family had decided my kids didn't matter, and they talked about it behind my back. The anger I'd kept controlled all evening started to surface. Not hot anger, cold anger, the kind that plans. The next morning was Monday. I dropped Emma and Jake at school, then headed to work. I was a project manager at a construction firm. Nothing fancy, but it paid the bills and gave me flexibility for custody schedules. My phone stayed quiet until lunch. Then the flood started again. Mom, we need to talk, today. Rachel, Dad's credit card got declined this morning because of your stunt. He couldn't buy groceries. Mom, your father is at the bank right now trying to fix this. Are you happy? I stared at that last message. Dad's card got declined because of one restaurant bill? Either they were living way closer to the edge than I thought, or this was a manipulation tactic. I called my dad directly. He answered on the first ring. Connor. Dad. Rachel said your card got declined? Yes. The restaurant bill maxed it out. One bill maxed out your credit card? Silence. Dad, how much available credit did you have? That's not the point. How much? $200. So you took the whole family to a restaurant where you knew the bill would be over $200 with a maxed out credit card? We thought you'd help with the bill, like you usually do. I stopped walking. What? You always chip in, for everyone. We counted on it. You counted on me to pay for Rachel's kids' $40 meals? Family helps family, Connor. Family feeds family, Dad. But you gave my kids napkins. That was your mother's decision. That you didn't stop. You sat there and watched my 7-year-old daughter get handed a napkin instead of dinner, and you said nothing. He didn't respond. I'm not paying you back, I said. Not for the bill, not for anything. Figure it out yourself. Connor. I hung up. The rest of the day, the messages kept coming. Mom, Rachel, even Brad sent a long text about family loyalty and setting a good example. I ignored all of them. That evening, I picked up the kids from after-school care. We stopped at the grocery store, bought actual food, and made spaghetti together at home. No white tablecloths, no expensive menu. Just us, in our small kitchen, making dinner and laughing about Jake's joke about meatballs. After dinner, while the kids did homework, my phone rang again. This time, a number I recognized. My Aunt Linda, Mom's older sister, the reasonable one in the family. Connor, she said when I answered. I heard about Sunday. Let me guess, Mom called you. She did, gave me her version. Then I called Rachel. Then I called the restaurant and talked to that poor waiter, Marcus. You called the restaurant? I wanted the truth. And honey, I got it. Your mother threw napkins at your children? Yeah. And Rachel's girls had $76 worth of food each? 76? I thought it was 65. They had appetizers before you arrived, charged to the family bill. Of course they did. Aunt Linda, I appreciate you checking, but I'm not calling to lecture you. I'm calling to say I'm on your side. What your mother did was cruel. What your sister enabled was worse. And I told them both exactly that. I sat down. You did? I did. Your mother tried to justify it. Said you could afford to feed your kids before coming. I asked her when she became the kind of grandmother who treats some grandchildren like royalty and others like burdens. She didn't have an answer. What did she say? She cried. Then she got defensive. Then she hung up on me, which tells me I hit a nerve. Aunt Linda? Honey, I've watched this happen for 3 years. Every dinner, every holiday, your kids get pushed aside while Rachel's girls get worshipped. I kept hoping your mother would notice. Would change. She didn't. So what do? You keep doing what you did Sunday. You show your kids they matter, and you don't apologize for it. We talked for a few more minutes. She told me she'd invited Emma and Jake to her house for dinner next weekend. Just them. No cousins. No competition. When I hung up, I felt lighter. At least one person in my family saw what was happening. That night, after the kids were asleep, I sat down and did something I'd been avoiding. I opened my laptop and looked at my finances. For 3 years, I'd been contributing to these family dinners. Not just paying for my portion and my kids' food. I'd been covering extras. Wine for the table, appetizers, desserts for everyone. I pulled up my credit card statements. Searched for Rosario's. 26 charges over 3 years. Average charge, $68. I wasn't just paying for me and my kids. I was subsidizing everyone. Total, $1,768. $1,768. I'd spent that much to watch my children be treated like they didn't belong. I closed the laptop, made a decision. No more family dinners, no more contributions, no more pretending everything was fine. My phone buzzed one more time. Rachel. Mom's in bed crying because of you. I hope you're proud. I looked at that message for a long time. Then I typed back, I'm proud of my kids. That's all that matters. And I blocked her number. Then I blocked Mom's, then Dad's, then Brad's. I kept Aunt Linda, kept Sophie in case she needed someone to talk to. Everyone else went silent. And for the first time in 3 years, I felt like I could breathe. 2 weeks passed without a word from my family. No calls, no texts, no surprise visits, just silence. Emma and Jake noticed. Over breakfast one morning, Jake asked, Are we ever going to see Grandma again? I don't know, buddy. Maybe, maybe not. I don't really miss it, he said quietly. The dinners, I mean. Is that bad? No, that's honest. Emma poked at her cereal. Lily texted me yesterday. I looked up. What did she say? She said her mom told her we're not invited to Thanksgiving because you were mean. How do you feel about that? She shrugged. I didn't want to go anyway. Their house smells weird. Despite everything, I smiled. Yeah, it does. That Saturday, we had dinner at Aunt Linda's. She lived an hour away in a small house with a garden and a cat named Mr. Whiskers. She made spaghetti, garlic bread, salad. Nothing fancy, everything delicious. And she talked to Emma and Jake like they were actual people. Asked about school, about their friends, about the books they were reading. No comparisons, no judgments, just attention. After dinner, while the kids played with Mr. Whiskers in the living room, Aunt Linda and I sat on her back porch. Your mother called me again, she said. Of course she did. She wants me to convince you to come to Thanksgiving. Says the family isn't complete without you. What did you tell her? I told her the family hasn't been complete for 3 years. She just didn't notice because you kept showing up anyway. I took a sip of coffee. How'd she take that? Poorly. She said I was turning you against her. I said you didn't need any help with that. Aunt Linda, Connor, honey, I love my sister, but she's been a terrible grandmother to your kids, and she needs to hear it. She won't change. Probably not. But that doesn't mean you have to keep subjecting Emma and Jake to it. She was right. I knew she was right. So, what do I do about Thanksgiving? What do you want to do? I thought about it. About past Thanksgivings. The kids sitting at the kiddie table while Lily and Sophie sat with the adults. The way Mom made a big show of helping Rachel cook while I was handed a beer and told to stay out of the way. I want to skip it, I said. Do something just us. Then do that. Make your own traditions, better ones. We stayed at Aunt Linda's until almost 9. When we left, Emma hugged her tight. Can we come back? She asked. Anytime, sweetheart. Anytime. On the drive home, Jake said, I like Aunt Linda. Me too, buddy. She's better than Grandma. I didn't argue. Monday morning, I got an email. Not a text. An actual email. From Mom. Subject: Thanksgiving plans. Connor, I know we've had our differences, but Thanksgiving is about family. Your father and I expect you and the children to be here at 2 p.m. Rachel is bringing pies. We're doing turkey and all the traditional sides. Please let me know what you'll contribute. Last year you brought the stuffing and it was very good. Also, we need to discuss what happened at the restaurant. Your father is still upset about the bill. Love, Mom. I read it 3 times. She wanted me to bring stuffing, to contribute to Thanksgiving, to sit at her table and pretend nothing had happened, to let my kids be ignored while Rachel's daughters were celebrated. I hit reply, Typed 4 words. We're not coming. Sent it. 30 seconds later, my phone rang. Blocked number. I didn't answer. A voicemail appeared. Connor, this is ridiculous. You can't skip Thanksgiving because of one disagreement. Your children need to be with their family. Call me back immediately. I deleted it. That evening, I got a text from a number I didn't recognize. This is Rachel. Mom gave me your work email since you blocked me. We need to talk about Thanksgiving. The girls are asking why their cousins aren't coming. You're being selfish. I blocked that number too. 2 days before Thanksgiving, a card arrived in the mail. Hand-addressed. Mom's handwriting. Inside was a Hallmark card. Generic. Thankful for family, written in gold script. She'd written below it. Connor, please reconsider. The children deserve to be together. Forgiveness is what family does. Love, Mom. Under that, Rachel had added, We miss you guys. Let's move past this. No apology, no acknowledgement of what they'd done. Just forgiveness and move past this. I threw it in the trash. Thanksgiving Day came. Emma, Jake, and I spent the morning making our own meal. Turkey breast, mashed potatoes, green beans, simple stuff. The kids helped with everything. At noon, Aunt Linda showed up with apple pie and a smile. Figured you could use backup, she said. We ate at our small kitchen table. 4 of us. No drama, no comparisons. No one being ignored. Jake said he was thankful for Mr. Whiskers and chocolate mousse. Emma said she was thankful for Aunt Linda and our kitchen. I was thankful they were learning that family isn't just blood. It's who shows up. At 3 o'clock while we were playing cards, my phone buzzed. Email from Mom. We missed you today. It wasn't the same without you. Please call when you're ready to talk. I showed it to Aunt Linda. Notice anything missing? She asked. An apology. Exactly. I didn't respond to the email. 3 days after Thanksgiving, I got a call from Sophie, the niece who'd called before. Uncle Connor? Hey, Sophie. Mom's really mad. She says you ruined Thanksgiving. I didn't ruin anything. We just didn't come. Grandma cried, like a lot, during dinner. I'm sorry she's upset, but that's not my fault. I know, She paused. I wanted to tell you something about what Grandma said. Okay. She said that Emma and Jake wouldn't have been able to behave properly anyway, that it was better you didn't come because they would have embarrassed everyone. My hand tightened on the phone. She said that? Yeah, at dinner, when everyone was talking about why you didn't show up. Mom agreed. Said your kids needed discipline. Sophie, thank you for telling me. That helps me understand a lot. Are we ever going to see you guys again? I don't know, but you can call me anytime. You and your sister, if you ever need anything. Okay, I miss Jake and Emma. They're nice. They miss you too. After we hung up, I sat on the couch and stared at the wall. They'd spent Thanksgiving talking about how my kids would have embarrassed them, how they didn't belong. Not one person at that table had defended Emma or Jake. I thought about the years I'd spent trying to make it work, showing up, contributing, smiling through the subtle and not so subtle ways my kids were pushed aside. All that effort, all that money, all that hope that maybe, eventually, they'd treat my kids fairly. And for what? So they could sit at a table on Thanksgiving and agree my children were embarrassing? I was done hoping for better. That weekend, I took Emma and Jake to the trampoline park. We jumped for 2 hours, got pizza after, came home exhausted and happy. No one compared them to anyone. No one ignored them. No one made them feel small. That night, after they went to bed, I made a list. Things to do instead of family dinners. Monthly trampoline park trips. Saturday morning pancake breakfasts. Movie nights with homemade popcorn. Game nights with Aunt Linda. Beach trips in summer. Build a treehouse in spring. Things my kids would never experience again. Being handed napkins instead of dinner. Watching their cousins get everything while they got nothing. Hearing that they're not good enough. Sitting at a table where they don't matter, I put the list on the fridge. It felt like a promise. To them. To myself. Christmas came and went without contact. Mom sent a card. Rachel sent an email about a family gathering in January. I ignored both. Instead, Emma, Jake, and I had Christmas morning at home. Pancakes, presents, movies. Aunt Linda came over for dinner. We played board games until 9. No stress, no judgment, no wondering if my kids were about to be hurt again. Just peace. In early January, I ran into Brad at the grocery store. He saw me first. Looked like he wanted to turn around and leave. But we were in the same aisle. No avoiding it. "Connor," he said stiffly. "Brad." Awkward silence. He grabbed a box of cereal off the shelf. Studied it like it held the meaning of life. "Rachel's still upset," he finally said. "Okay? That's it? Just okay? What do you want me to say?" An apology would be a start. For the restaurant, for Thanksgiving, for ignoring your family. I looked at him. Really looked at him. This man who'd laughed when Dad said my kids could eat at home. Who'd called me childish for buying desserts. "Brad, my kids were given napkins instead of dinner. Your daughters had $76 worth of food each, and you laughed. That was exactly who you are. So no apology. Not now, not ever." I walked away, left him standing there with his cereal. That night, Emma asked, "Dad, do you think Grandma will ever like us?" I sat on the edge of her bed. "Honestly, sweetheart, I don't know. But here's what I do know. You are smart, kind, funny, and brave. And anyone who doesn't see that is missing out. Even Grandma? Especially Grandma." She thought about that. "I don't think I miss her anymore." "That's okay." "Is it weird that I don't?" "No. It means you're figuring out who deserves your time. That's smart." She smiled. "Aunt Linda says that too. Aunt Linda's a smart lady." I tucked her in, kissed her forehead, turned off the light. In the hallway, I checked my phone. One new email. Mom again. "Connor, it's been over 2 months. This has gone on long enough. We're your family. You need to come back. The children need their grandparents. Please call. Love, Mom." I archived it without responding. Because the truth was simple. My children didn't need grandparents who treated them like burdens. They needed people who loved them, who saw them, who showed up. And we'd found those people. Aunt Linda. Sophie, when she was brave enough to reach out. A few good friends who invited us to their holiday gatherings. Small circle, but solid. Better than a big family that didn't care. February brought Emma's 8th birthday. I asked what she wanted to do. "Can we have a party?" she asked. "Just us and Aunt Linda and my friends from school?" "No Grandma?" "No, I don't want her there." "You're sure?" She nodded. She didn't come last year anyway. She said she was busy. But Jake saw on Facebook she went to Lily's violin recital that same day. My heart broke a little. "Okay, sweetheart. No Grandma, just people who actually want to celebrate you." We had the party at the house, 8 kids from Emma's class, Aunt Linda, pizza and cake and chaos. It was perfect. No one compared Emma to her cousins. No one suggested her choices were wrong. No one made her feel like she wasn't enough. She was happy, genuinely happy. That's all I wanted. Later that week, Sophie texted me. "Mom's mad you didn't invite us to Emma's party." "I didn't invite anyone from that side of the family." "I know, I don't blame you. But Mom says you're poisoning Emma and Jake against us." "I'm not poisoning anyone, I'm protecting them." "I get it. I just wanted you to know." "Sophie, you're always welcome here, you and Lily both. If you want to see your cousins, just you guys, no parents, you can. But I'm not bringing my kids back into that environment." "I understand. Thanks, Uncle Connor." She never took me up on it. I suspected Rachel wouldn't let her. And that was fine. I'd spent 3 years trying to force a relationship that didn't work. I wasn't doing it anymore. My kids deserved better. And finally, they were getting it. A year passed. Emma turned 9. Jake turned 11. We built our own traditions. Saturday pancakes, monthly trampoline park trips, summer camping with Aunt Linda, movie nights where the kids picked whatever they wanted. No family dinners at Rosario's. No stiff conversations. No watching my kids get pushed aside. Just us. And it was enough. Mom tried reaching out a few times. Birthday cards with no apology. Christmas emails about healing that never acknowledged what happened. I didn't respond. Rachel stopped trying after 6 months. Sophie stopped texting. I suspected Rachel found out. The following March, a full year after the restaurant incident, I ran into Mom at Target. We both froze. "Connor," she said softly. "Mom." Emma grabbed my hand. She hadn't seen Grandma in over a year. "Is this Emma?" Mom's eyes filled with tears. "You've grown so much." Emma pressed closer to me, said nothing. "Can we talk?" Mom asked. "Just for a minute?" I looked at Emma. "Go pick out some erasers, sweetheart." She walked to the next aisle, staying where I could see her. "I miss you," Mom said. "It's been a year. I know we had a disagreement. You gave my kids napkins instead of dinner." She flinched. "I was trying to help with your money situation. You humiliated my children. I didn't see it that way, but I've had time to think. I was wrong." "What are you sorry for?" I asked. "For the napkins. For everything. For saying at Thanksgiving that my kids would embarrass everyone?" Her face went white. "Sophie told you." "She did." "Do you know what the worst part was? 3 years of watching you celebrate Rachel's kids while ignoring mine. 3 years of Emma and Jake asking why Grandma doesn't love them. I do love them. You don't show it. Kids only know what they see. And they saw napkins while their cousins got lobster." Emma appeared with animal-shaped erasers. "Dad, I found them." "Those are perfect, sweetheart." Mom looked at Emma with longing. "Emma, honey, I'm your grandma. Do you remember me?" Emma looked at her. Then at me. Then back at Mom. "You're the one who gave us napkins?" Mom's face crumpled. "Emma, go grab a notebook," I said gently. She left again. "She hates me," Mom whispered. "She remembers. Kids remember when they feel small. How do I fix this?" "I don't know if you can. The trust is gone. But we're family. Family doesn't give kids napkins and call it love. Please, give me another chance." "Why now?" "Because I've lost a year with them. Because Rachel won't let me see Lily and Sophie as much. She says I favor them and it's causing problems. Because your father barely talks to me. Because I'm alone and I realized I did this." There it was. Not remorse for hurting my kids, regret for her own consequences. "I'm sorry, Mom, but I can't help you with that." Emma came back with a notebook. "Ready, Dad?" "Yes, sweetheart." I looked at Mom one last time. "Take care of yourself." And I walked away. In the car, Emma asked, "Was Grandma sad?" "Yeah, she was." "Because we don't see her anymore?" "Yeah." "Do you feel bad?" "A little. But you and Jake are more important." "Good. I like it being just us." And Aunt Linda. "Me too, baby." That evening, I texted Aunt Linda about the encounter. She called immediately. "How are you?" "Okay," she apologized, kind of. "Are you going to give her another chance?" "No." "Good. She's only sorry because she's facing consequences. That's not real change. She had a year to fix this." Aunt Linda told me Rachel was having problems too. Lily had told her mom she felt pressured to be perfect, afraid of losing Grandma's favor like Emma and Jake did. The favoritism was damaging everyone. "A mess she created," Aunt Linda said. "You didn't do this. She did." We talked about Easter plans, normal things, healthy things. After we hung up, I checked on Emma and Jake, both asleep. Safe. Loved. Mom's question echoed, "So you're going to punish me forever?" It wasn't punishment. It was boundaries. It was teaching my kids they don't have to accept poor treatment just because someone is family. It was showing them that walking away is sometimes the healthiest choice. 2 years later, Emma turned 10. We had her party at Aunt Linda's house. 10 kids from school, pizza and games, a unicorn cake that Aunt Linda and I decorated together. It was lopsided, but Emma loved it. She was chaotic, loud, perfect. No one mentioned missing grandparents. No one compared Emma to her cousins. No one made her feel like she had to earn love. She was just a kid, having a birthday, being celebrated for exactly who she was. After the party, while helping clean up, Emma hugged me. "This was the best birthday ever, Dad." "Better than last year?" "Better than all the years." "Why?" "Because everyone here actually wanted to be here." She was 10 years old, and she already understood what took me 30 years to learn. That week, Sophie messaged me. She was 14 now, had her own phone. "Uncle Connor, I get it now. Why you left? Mom told us what really happened at the restaurant. The actual truth. I'm sorry. I hope Emma and Jake are okay." I wrote back, "They're thriving. You're welcome to visit anytime." She never did, but it meant something. The next generation was learning, questioning, seeing the patterns. Maybe they'd do better. That Christmas, Mom sent one final email. "Connor, I know I can't undo what I did. I know I hurt Emma and Jake in ways that can't be fixed with words. I'm not asking you to come back. I'm not asking for another chance. I just wanted you to know that I see it now. I see what I did. And I'm sorry. Not because I want something from you, but because you and your children deserved better. I hope they're happy. I hope you're happy. That's all I wanted to say. Mom." I read it 3 times. It was the first apology that felt real. That didn't ask for anything in return. But it was also 3 years too late. I archived the email without responding. Maybe one day I'd feel differently. Maybe one day the anger would fade enough to try again. But not today. Not this year. Maybe not ever. And I was okay with that. 3 years after the napkin incident, Jake and I were fishing at a lake. Early morning. Quiet. "Dad, do you ever wish things were different with Grandma?" "Sometimes. I wish they'd been different people. People who loved you the way you deserved. But they weren't." "No." "Are you sad?" "I used to be. Now I'm grateful." "For what?" "For you and Emma. For Aunt Linda. For learning that family isn't about who you're related to. It's about who shows up." He cast his line. "Aunt Linda always shows up." "She does." "So she's more family than Grandma?" "Yeah, buddy, I think she is." He smiled. And I realized something. My kids were okay, better than okay. They knew they were loved, valued, protected. They knew if someone treated them poorly, they could walk away. They knew their worth wasn't determined by how others saw them. Those were lessons I never learned as a kid. But they were learning them now. And that made every missed family dinner, every blocked phone call, every difficult conversation worth it. Because I hadn't lost my family. I'd found it. It was smaller, quieter, less complicated. But it was real. And that was enough. More than enough. It was everything.